Good morning. It is Sunday, December 15th. And I'm not in my tent, if you can tell. This tent is much larger than mine. This is like a base camp style tent with cots in it. This is nice. I am at a place in Bastion, Virginia called Fort Bastion. A trail angel named True Brit has a wonderful sort of hiker haven carved out here, and it's really cool. And I'll show you around here in a bit after I sort of catch up. Since I last updated, I went ahead and I did that day to Pearsburg and got in and out. Made my way to Woods Hole Hostel is where I was trying to make it that day. Got there at about 6:30, something like that. So it was dark out, and there was no lights on, and there was nobody there. And while I was in town, I had sort of looked it up online. They have a website, and sort of gotten a lay of the land, and I recognized the bunkhouse, and I went over and I checked the bunkhouse out, and it definitely looked like they were sort of transitioning into off-season, because the bunkhouse is seasonal. It closes for the winter. The website said it closed December 15th, which would be today. But I went and checked it out. It looked like they were sort of transitioning it into more of a storage space. But in the loft, there were still a couple bunks that were out, and sort of there were blankets and pillows and stuff like that. So I decided I'd go ahead and just stay, and then leave a note with some money, maybe up at the house the next morning. I had met Michael and Neville at Trail Days, so I didn't think that they would mind that all that much. So I went ahead and I did that. Yeah, it was a cold night. Oh yeah, and there's like communal chores for the bunkhouse. I saw the little sort of checklist or whatever, like these clothespins that they have. So that night I went ahead and I sort of spruced up the bunkhouse a little bit, and it actually worked out really well. I found, while I was cleaning, I found 3 things, 2 of which I was in need of. One was a canister. I found a canister stove, which is about half full of fuel. So that was good. Found a canister, which I guess I didn't really find that. It was just in where people sort of ditch them sometimes. They ditch old batteries and stuff like that in this bucket that they had. I was cleaning off one of the beds, pulled up a blanket, and there was a lighter, which I've been in need of a lighter for a while, for about a week. Been using my waterproof matches, and I'm starting to run low on those. So got Fuego, and third item that I found, which was completely novelty, was a cold can of Budweiser between one of the bunks and a wall. So I sort of set that aside, and once I wrapped up and sat down to read this book that was there, I had that cold can of Bud that I was going to enjoy. I cracked it open, it was all frozen, so I had to pour it in my pot and put it in my lap to warm it up. But yeah, ended up staying there that night. Woke up the next morning, sort of cleaned it up again, and headed out. Went up to the house. Was gonna, leave money and note. Michael ended up being there. I guess Neville was out of town for the weekend, and he, the night before, had gone for a night hike and got back. He was gone in the period when I came and went down to bed. So that was cool. He didn't even charge me to stay there either. He said technically because of the winter weather, they've had the bunkhouse shut down for a while and lack of hikers. So that was cool. He didn't charge me, and I actually ended up just buying a brand new canister from him because I feel like I wanted to sort of contribute something monetary to their cause. So I went ahead and I bought a new canister and broke on out of there. They got a really cool spot there. I'd like to have done a video there, but they were sort of down for the season, and I was ready to go at that point. But yeah, it's a nice sustainable sort of farm that they've got there. They do a lot of like healing, like yoga, massage therapy, and they've got a farm across the way. Great views. They got the bunkhouse. It's like an 1800s chestnut cabin is the house, and really cool things they're doing there. They're building a big shower house right now. So yeah, that was cool. I'm sure I'll be back to that particular hostel maybe next year if I go to Trail Days. So yeah, I headed out of there a couple mornings ago, and it's like a 0.5 walk back to the trail, which was sort of my motivating factor for just getting into the bunkhouse when I did get there. I didn't want to walk that 0.5 back to the trail and then have to worry about finding a place to camp in the dark. Yeah, I started walking that 0.5 up the hill, and a couple of trucks are rolling by, and who is it but the Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club, or some of the Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club members going out just for a hike. It was Friday. And they offered to drop the tailgate and give me a ride back to the trail, which I jumped on there and sure enough did that. Didn't even have to take my pack off, and it actually provided me with an opportunity to tell them about the blowdowns that were just south of Pine Swamp Shelter. So I went ahead and did that. Good morning, Mr. Truebrit. How you doing?
Look at that. He's getting breakfast fed to him.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You just set it down on there. Thank you very much, sir. I greatly appreciate that. That is awesome. So yeah, I was able to tell them about those blowdowns, and they I'm gonna start rushing now. I was able to tell them about those blowdowns, and they told me that is in fact the Virginia Tech AT Club section of the trail. So I had a text when I turned my phone on a couple nights ago, and had a text from Crazy Frog asking me how the hike was going. I told her about it. Maybe she knows somebody in the club. But I did a 20 that day out of Woods Hole. Made it to Jenny Knob, I think it was called, and the weather was not looking good. It was looking like more of my favorite weather, freezing rain. I was calling for that yesterday, and woke up in the morning, and that is in fact what we had. So anyway, the night when I was at Jenny Knob, I had a little bit of signal, and I shot. I looked ahead in the book trying to figure out what I could do. I could either do a 30-plus mile day in the freezing rain to Chestnut Knob, which is a fully enclosed shelter, or I could do zero and then do a 30 the following day to Chestnut Knob, which is the fully enclosed shelter. I was sort of weighing my options, and I looked ahead, and 12 miles there's a crossing for Bland, Virginia, and Bastion, Virginia. There was a listing for a trail angel named Truebrit, who offers hikers shelter. The listing in AWOL's guide is off. It says that it makes it seem like it's a home, and he has laundry and things like that, but that's not necessarily what it is. What it is, I will show you. So he's got this tent set up, and this is with the cots here. This is where I stayed last night. Let me go ahead and do something with that. So, Mr. Truebrit bought this land. It's like, I don't know, 36 acres, I think he said, and he's completely developing it from the ground up, and it's so cool. It's like every thru hiker's dream to be able to do something like this, and he's got Baron. Baron's been keeping me company. His dog Baron keeping him company out here, and yeah, he's out here working every day. He's working on building a winter cabin here. He's got another cabin that he built that's like his kitchen. He's got like a Winnebago over there that acts as his office, and then here he's got sort of a base camp tent. And we had a nice fire in here last night. Hung out listening to listening to Christmas music. It was cool. Got his hiker register, and all he asks is for a donation for just to cover the cost of the breakfast that he makes for the hikers, which is what he just brought me. And man, that looks good. I'm running over here now. Yeah, he'll pick you up at the trail, bring you here, give you a shelter for the night, which was awesome. I needed it, and I needed that fire so that I could dry out my wet everything. I was soaked after that hike in the rain, freezing rain yesterday. It was a tough 12 miles. Very remnant of that hike up from Fontana Dam to Molly's Ridge again. But yeah, he makes camp breakfast for the hikers, and this is what he just handed me: a big, huge plate of bacon and eggs, baby. That is what I'm talking about. And I'm all packed up now, and he's going to run me back to the trail, and I'm going to shoot for Chestnut Knob, which now is not a 30-mile day. It's only like a 23. So yeah, that whole situation has definitely worked out. I had heard, I'm so glad that I gave him a call. I'd heard the name True Brit from a local in Pearsburg who helped me out shuttling me around town. They mentioned True Brit, but I was like, no, I'm shooting straight for Atkins. Gonna do light resupply in Atkins and then Damascus. But this weather sort of, it's like I've said, it's a fluid situation. This weather sort of dictated otherwise. It's like, sit around and do nothing for a day, or do 12 tough miles and have a place to go and have a more manageable day to day. So glad I did it, because you really can't plan on 30s. I've done quite a few 30s now, and you can't wake up in the morning and say, alright, I'm doing a 30, because it's so many miles and there's so many things that can inhibit you from making it the whole way. Not only that, but this time of year there's so little daylight. You're almost inevitably going to be hiking for multiple hours in the dark, and with ice on the ground and stuff like this, you don't really want to be doing that, because it is dangerous and increases the likelihood of you getting injured. So this whole situation really worked out. This is a really cool spot, and it's spots like this along the trail that make it the unique experience that it is. I mean, I had no idea. You read the little listing in the guidebook, and it just seems like somebody lets you camp in their backyard. But that is not what this is. It's called Fort Bastion, and he was telling me some of his plans for this location. He's planning on living here the rest of his life and just building it up from the ground up with his own two hands. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to stopping by in later years and seeing just how it's coming along. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, coming out of here, Chestnut Knob tonight, Atkins, Virginia tomorrow, and then it's like 4 days to Damascus from there. Hoping to be done on the 21st, and the weather's looking good. Well, it's going to be cold, but it's looking like clear weather, no precipitation or snow after today. It's snowing today, but no worries. I can deal with that. Alright, I'm going to grub out, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.